Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave, episode 99. Today I'm doing a movie game, and originally I was thinking of doing this one, Karate Kid. But I just picked this game up. I've never really played it. Actually, I don't know if I've ever played it. So I think I need to hold out on this one because I might need to play it a few times. So the other game I decided to do, and I've been thinking about this one for a while now, is Back to the Future for the Nintendo. Obviously, I'm a Back to the Future fan. I'm wearing the shirt. I've done lots of other videos where I've talked about Back to the Future. Big fan of the movie. You know, I got the that collector's edition DVD. It's got all three movies in there. I've watched the movie in theater when I was a little kid, and I've been a fan ever since. I own a DeLorean, probably because of the movie. You know, all these things that I have that are all Back to the Future related. I even have the Back to the Future Wii game, which, you know, I played probably a little bit of it. I got so far, and then I just haven't picked it up in a while. I need to revisit this one. But this game is the Nintendo version. And this one, I remember when it came out, I didn't have it for the longest time. I had to rent it to play it. And it's a frustrating game. It's very difficult. And it's made by LGN, which is notorious for making a lot of the movie games that kind of stunk in a way. You know, a lot of people complained about it. I know the Angry Video Game Nerd's done a lot of videos on it and always goes on about LGN making the crappiest games. So, you know, whatever. When I played this, I didn't look at it that way. I just thought, you know, it's a video game. It's based on Back to the Future. It's got Marty on the cover. And, you know, it follows a lot of the stuff that's in the movie. So, I'm going to make my attempt to play this again. I used to be able to complete this game. I don't think I will at this point. It's still a hard game, and I used to play it all the time. That's why I used to be able to beat it. And it's been a long time since I have. So, let's give this game a whirl and just talk about it and see what I can do. Okay, so we got Back to the Future on the Nintendo. Now I remember renting this game and trying to beat it. I don't think I did. I think I didn't beat this game until long after I bought it. Of course I bought it used. I didn't pay full price on this thing. Let's hit start to play. That's our map of Hill Valley. I mean, it's got everything in the movie. I mean, you got, you know, obviously Hill Valley, and you got Lou's Cafe, which was an important area where he meets his father. And then you got the school, where the school dance happens. Actually, no, the dance is over here, so this is a little bit weird. I guess they had to dance in a different area. It should have been in the school, though. That's kind of weird. And then you got the clock tower. That's obviously the main focus of the game, because that's how Marty gets home. Okay, so we start off on this street. We got the character going on there. Whoa. Okay, so these obstacles, I mean, they're not in the movie. They have nothing to do with the movie. I think a lot of games, especially around the Nintendo area, made by like the LGN games, they didn't fully follow exactly what was in the movie. And there's a reason for that. I mean, how could they? There wasn't a whole lot that they could throw in here. But what they did was they included a lot of elements that were kind of 50s references. So, like bowling balls, right? Like the whole bowling scene probably was, you know, big in the 50s, so they decided to throw that in there. I mean, that's probably what a lot of the hip cats, the cool kids, whatever you want to call them, did in the 50s. They probably went bowling. And then you see the other things like the hula hoopers and stuff. The skateboard is a little bit weird. Whoops. That was a mistake. The skateboard's a little bit weird because if you remember in the movie, Marty McFly, who loves to skateboard obviously, doesn't have one until he's like literally takes one from a kid And what the kid's riding on isn't exactly a skateboard. I don't know what it would be called. But it has like a whole box in front of it, and it's just like something with on wheels. And he kind of breaks it apart and turns it into a skateboard, essentially. And it's got like metal wheels. Like, there's no way the thing would be that great as a skateboard, but he makes it work. And it's one of the more iconic scenes in the movie where he's like riding through the streets, holding onto the back of cars. Biff is following him, trying to catch him. They replicate that scene in Back to the Future 2, with the future where Griff is chasing after him. And instead he ends up on a hoverboard, which I think everybody went, crazy over, and was really hoping that those things would exist by now. Now that it's the year 2017, 2 years after the supposed future that Marty McFly went to that had hoverboards. So we don't have hoverboards. So maybe it was Marty's fault. Maybe he broke the timeline. I don't know. Maybe we'll never have hoverboards. The other things are just typical video game, what do you want to call it? Obstacles, barrels, the glass, and these stupid bees. If there's anything I could say that's a problem with this game, it's those bees. They're really a pain in the butt. So if you haven't figured out what I'm doing, this is the photograph. It's a little inaccurate. It shows Doc. Well, it's gone now, so I'll just wait till it comes back. So it shows Doc, Marty, and Biff. I'm assuming they just did that for the video game purposes, because in the actual photograph in the movie, it's Marty and his brother and his sister. But they probably didn't want to have to try and, make that pixelated and all that stuff, and people wouldn't know what they are. You want to see recognizable characters. Even though Doc never makes an appearance in this movie, in this game, I should say, which is kind of funny in a sense, because Doc's the main character. So, without Doc, there wouldn't have been no time travel, and none of this would have happened. So, and it's Doc that actually helps Marty get back to the future, even in the 50s. So, it's weird that he really only makes an appearance in the photograph, which is an inaccurate photograph. So all I was doing was collecting those clocks. Obviously the clocks are just there to make the video game flow, to keep your time from fading away. So now we're in Lou's Cafe. Again, a scene that kind of happens but doesn't happen. I mean, Marty never throws anything at the bullies. This kind of has like that the video game Tapper kind of feel to it, or even I think the Three Stooges on Nintendo, which I've never played, has like a pie throwing scene that I think is similar to this. Oops. Okay, he got too close. Yeah, so you have to get, I think, 50 of them to pass the stage. And the annoying thing is now you have to go back. So you get a certain amount of lives, but then you have to go back and do the street over again, which is kind of annoying, but that's just the way these games work. Make you spend countless hours trying to beat this game. Okay, so after a couple of tries, I'm just not as good at this game as I used to be. I had to, stop the recording and try a bunch of times, but I finally beat this Lou's Cafe where I was throwing milkshakes. So now I'm going to continue on, and hopefully I can get to the school. Usually the roads aren't as bad as the actual challenges, so let's see what happens here. Now, of course, another thing to point out is that Marty doesn't really look like Marty. You can see it's a guy in jeans. At least I think those are jeans. Look kind of purple rather than blue. However, in the movie, he is wearing purple underwear, and Lorraine kind of makes that kind of, I've never seen a man in purple underwear before, or never seen purple underwear, or some kind of reference to purple. So, I guess they kind of might have something there. But the black shirt makes no sense, because Marty never really wears black. Not until Back to the Future 2, when he's wearing the black leather jacket and stuff and trying to look inconspicuous, which is the joke of it all, because he actually looks more suspicious than well, you know what I mean. he sticks out like a Thor's thumb. So let's go on here. That's the thing too, is this game doesn't really change too much. I mean, once you get through those kind of challenge levels, you kind of go back to the street area, where it's all the same. It just gets harder. More bees, more bullies on the street, more hula hoop girls throwing things at you, and those crazy guys walking back and forth with a sheet of glass. I don't know what they were implying with that, like a lot of people needed new glass or something, or I don't know. I don't remember seeing any of those guys in the movie, so somebody had to think of an obstacle and thought, how about a couple of guys walking back and forth with a sheet of glass? The bullies make sense, because that's pretty much a lot of the storyline with Back to the Future, is all the bullying that goes on. I mean, with Biff and his cronies. Face it, that's what the whole Lou's Cafe scene was. Bullies coming at you, throwing root beers at them, or whatever. In the movie, a lot of the bully action does take place in the Lou's Cafe. You see George McFly and Biff, and he's kind of like knocking on his head and doing all these crazy things to him. So I can see how the bully thing really makes a lot of sense in this game. Those dang bees, though. I don't remember seeing a bee once in the movie. But I guess I had to figure, what could possibly attack Marty. It's a nice warm day, although it's November. November 5th, 1955. But, whatever. I don't know how the weather is in other parts of the world, but where I live, November is starting to get cold. Of course, I'm in Canada, so it makes a lot of sense, and Marty was not. Yay! Once you hit that crossroad, you know you're safe. Of course, the amount of times you get hit decreases throughout the game, as far as how many times you're allowed to get hit before you die, essentially. You pretty much just run out of time if you keep getting hit. I need to get on the skateboard, that's what I need. There it is. Awful lot of skateboards for a time that didn't have skateboards. I don't know why they needed to include the bowling pins. That seemed a little unnecessary, but they exist, and they show up from time to time as an extra thing that you can hit with your bowling ball. It's kind of weird. Yes, and at this crossing area, just before the bonus hits, if you jump the highest, you get the bigger bonus points. So now we're at the Hill Valley High School. Again, it's another one of those games, little challenge games, just like the bar. Only now it's hearts. Always kinds of reminds me of like Kaboom on the Atari 2600. So essentially what this is... Oh, a little bit more fast-paced though. And the angle. I think the angle is what really makes this difficult. It's not a straight on. It's on a slant. And that's what makes it hard. Of course, you always get pushed back to the previous street. I don't know why they did this. Just to frustrate the player, I guess. Those little oil spills everywhere, too. I don't know what the decision on that, was to have oil spills everywhere. I guess they figured a lot of the old cars, the cars of the 40s and 50s spilled a lot of oil. I don't know. It's weird, but I guess they just thought, he's on a street, what kind of obstacles can he face? I know, oil. Nothing about manure. which is another thing in the movie, you know. Biff gets his car full of manure and he screams, "I hate manure." And then it happens again in Back to the Future 3, where Buford Tannen falls into the manure pile thing, and same idea. Maybe they just didn't want to have piles of crap on the road. And, let's see if I could do this. This one I find is a little bit tricky because, unlike the bully scene, they seem to give you a little bit of a break, whereas this is just continual hearts. Essentially what's happening here is Lorraine is throwing her heart at you, and you're trying to deflect it with your book. You gotta keep... Oh, you don't have a lot of leeway on this one. It's very hard. Like with the bullies, there's a little bit of like breathing room in between bullies. This one is a constant stream of hearts being thrown at you. Doesn't really get much different than this for the rest of the game, no, because after this you go through another 4 of these roads, and then you're playing the guitar in your challenge level. You're playing the guitar and you're just catching notes flying at you from the left and the right. I don't think it's as hard as this one or the root beer level, or whatever those things are that you're throwing, milkshakes. And then you go through another 4 boards, and then you hit the DeLorean scene. And you're faced with this car that sort of looks like a DeLorean, sort of. And all you have to do is dodge lightning bolts, and then hit the line at the right time, and zaps you back to the future, and you're done. I mean, there's nothing exciting about the end screen either. I mean, it's just like, congratulations, you completed the game. Typical of most LGN video games of this era. They didn't really give you a whole lot to feel like you'd accomplished anything. It's just like, congratulations, you're back to the future, the end. And I love how they have the E equals MC squared on the board. Are they trying to look, you know, smart by doing that? I don't get it. This is somewhat of a chemistry lab, I guess. So somehow they figure, you know, astrophysics or whatever you want to consider that to be would fit in there. I guess they could have gone, you know, put a 1 + 1 = 2 just to be funny, but they wanted to go smart and put E equals MC squared. Oh my goodness! 49! Are you kidding me? I was 1 heart away! And that's the frustration of this game. Looks like I'm too good looking for my mother, apparently. Let's give this one more shot. Like I said, I used to play this a lot more when I was younger, and I probably had the same frustration level. Let's give this one more try. I'll be shocked if I get this. After a while, I start going cross-eyed, and yeah. It's like that whole brain to eye thing just fails on me. Although I do remember playing this as a, you know, teenager and having the same frustration of this was just pure luck that I would actually pass it, and most of the time I would fail, get fed up, throw the controller, and come back to this game another day. Hopefully when my nerves calm down and I'm like, okay, now it's time to tackle this game. There's no saves in this game, so you have to pretty much complete it all in one go. It gives you, like, I think 4 lives or something like that. So if you fail 4 times, you... Ooh. Whoa. 84. Did I make it? I think it... Yay! Bonus 2. So when it says bonus 2, it means you made it. If it says bonus 1, you're going back, buddy. Okay. Now's my chance to make it to the dance. It kind of rhymed. You notice it's getting darker. The screen's darker, so This is like telling you, you know, it's starting to get dark. You got to get your butt to the dance and try and get your parents to kiss. Gross. But that's, you know, what happens in the movie. Lorraine fell for Marty and didn't fall for George McFly, his father. And so he needs to make them fall in love. What better way than at a high school dance? Alright, so I made it to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. A very critical point in the movie. That's Marty rocking out his guitar. And so what it is, oops. So the typical note, you have to be in the middle, that thing. The sharp, you have to be at the top, and the flats, you have to be at the bottom. So you see a flat, go to the bottom, you see a note, go to the middle, and so on and so on. I think you're only allowed to miss like a few times. This is him playing Johnny Be Good. Even though this music is nothing like Johnny Be Good. I think I made it. That's the meter there and they kiss. They get the heart going on. My parents just kissed and I'm moving on. Moving on up. Let's see if I can make it to the DeLorean. Good job, Marty. You're almost there. Two men left. Ooh. Two Marty McFlys. So, we're no longer in the Twilight area. This looks like level 1. So, I don't know what was up with that. Oh, jeez. This is all about dodging the bees again. You almost have to just keep moving the controller around and around and around. And I'm getting hit way too often here. This isn't a good sign. Because I know on these levels, you really can't be losing. You can't be falling down. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to make this one. I tried to get the bowling ball, because the only way to get the skateboard is to get the bowling ball. Once you get the bowling ball, then the next thing to appear is the skateboard. If you miss the bowling ball, then it'll just do another bowling ball again. And the skateboard's critical, because you need that speed. See, I'm dead. I think I got one more life left. Which most likely means I won't be able to get to the DeLorean on this one. I'm just not going to have enough lives. I'd have to play perfectly for the rest of this level. I'm already starting to suffer from Nintendo thumb right now. Probably have a permanent indent of the Nintendo gamepad in my thumb. Oh, jeez. Those bees. Bees, they're impossible. Oh. Yeah, no, that just sealed my doom right there. This game should be retitled to Marty McFly and the Bees That Killed Him. Yeah, they're so fast, you literally have to just dodge bees this whole level. Oh. Alright, that's it. 10 seconds. I don't know if this is one of these games where you can play your last one or if it's over. Tough luck, Marty. It looks like you're stuck here. Oh, well. I tried. Okay, well, as you can see, I'm okay at it. I'm still a little rusty. And actually, I still remember when I used to play it a long time ago, I was never the best at it at that point either. I could complete it, and I'm sure if I keep trying right now, I probably could. That final level with the bees coming after me, I just found I was having a hard time with those. Usually in the streets, it wasn't too hard. It was always those middle stages, the stages with Lou's Cafe where you're throwing those milkshake things, because it's on an awkward angle. It's kind of that obscure angle, kind of what I consider like the Congo Bongo angle. If you play the game Congo Bongo, I did a video on it not too long ago. That kind of weird angle. Everything's kind of on a diagonal. And it's hard to line things up because things are coming at you and you're like, am I there? Am I here? And the responsiveness of the controller. I did play this a little bit on my emulator on the computer, and I was worried about the response time. So you really got to be precise when you're in that the right column to hit the bully, or else he comes at you, throws you into the bar. Then the second level, the part where Lorraine's throwing the hearts at you, and it's a continuous stream of hearts. It's pretty much Kaboom, the Atari game, but much harder because it's like it's a continual stream. Like it's just coming at you, and you just got to keep going. If you miss that one angle, you're dead. You have to start at the street prior and work your way back up. Then you get to that guitar scene where you're playing Johnny Be Good. That one I didn't find too hard. I've never found that one hard. You just know that that's the lower one, that's the middle one, that's the top one. You just keep going up and down and up and down. It's not that hard. I think they come at different speeds and stuff. It's just not as difficult. And then obviously you hit the final scene, which I didn't get to, and that's the DeLorean going forward. You're dodging lightning bolts. The lightning bolts will slow you down. And once you get to the line where lightning strikes and all that stuff, and that's pretty reminiscent of the movie. I mean, obviously in the movie there's no lightning bolts hitting at Marty or coming at Marty. They just threw that in there as a video game thing. But it does give you the idea that Marty had to get the car going and get to the line in the right time, or else he wouldn't have made it back to the future. So they kind of give you that same idea. And if you remember in the movie, if you've seen the movie, at the time the bell rings and Marty's supposed to start the DeLorean and get it going, the engine shuts off. It quits on him. And then he's like, oh no, and he had engine problems in the beginning, or near the middle of the movie, I should say. After he got into the past, the car wouldn't start. So you knew there were starter problems. So at this point, instead of doing the whole engine issues, they decided to throw lightning bolts at you, and it would slow you down. So if you don't hit that line in time, it's over. It's done. Your game is over. And, that's it. And then you win the game. You get some text going, you go to the future. And then it flips right back to the title screen. Not a lot of satisfaction of completing it, just your own self-satisfaction of saying, hey, I beat this really horrendous, hard game. So anyways, yeah, so that's Back to the Future. I mean, there isn't much more to show you other than the DeLorean scene, which I've talked about. And, hopefully I can try and play this game again and get there, but it's really frustrating, and chances are I won't. Anyways, hope you liked the video. So this is going to lead into my 100th video, which I'm going to explain in the next one. Not 100th video, sorry, 100th episode, which I'm going to explain in that one. And, I'm going to be making a few changes to the way I do my videos. So anyways, hope you liked the video. Hope you subscribe to my channel. Talk to you later.